Hey guys, Chris here. Right behind me you had the brand new 2018 Volvo XC40 in Momentum trim. In this video, we're going to take a look at this car in detail on the exterior and on the interior. First off, this blue color is very nice, a pastel blue color. You can see this car is also equipped with these 5-spoke 19-inch wheels. This car is currently on winter tires, Nokian Hakkapeliitta R2 SUVs. And then you have the front here, which has the Thorshammer LED lights, which has become a signature Volvo feature on modern Volvos. And then you have Volvo's also a brand new grille design, with it, which also in new Volvo fashion is concave. The only new Volvo that doesn't have the concave grille is actually the XC90, which was the first new Volvo out with the new design language. And then down here lower in the bumper you also have bits here with the fog lights surrounding, which are in matte black plastic. So this is the Momentum trim. This is the lowest trim. You also above this have R Design, which is the sport trim, and then you have Inscription, which is the luxury trim. And you can also see the grille has the same that matte black unpainted finishing, but you have this nice detail, this satin chrome detail down here on the lower part of the bumper, the front lip. Moving over to the side, you can see that this car has a clamshell hood design, which is also unique to new Volvos. This car also has a contrasting white roof, which is very cool. Contrasting white mirrors with turn signals integrated in the sides here. And then you also can see Volvo's newest grab handle or door handle design, which are more chunky than what you get on the 60 and 90 series cars. Also painted to the body. And then around the windows you can see that the window surroundings are have this rubber gasket here, and they don't have chrome details, but you have black painted here on the B pillar and also here on the rear window. You also have a chrome satin finishing on the roof rails there, and this car also has the panoramic sunroof, which I will show you guys later on when we get to the interior. You also have these side skirts here, which are matte black, and also you have the wheel wells, which are also matte black, giving this car a really rugged look. And I think the exterior looks really cool, really modern. It's a different take on Volvo's new design language. Looks it looks like to be a sibling to the new Volvos, but it is very different. You see that mostly in the headlight design. The XC90 does this shoulder swoop down. The 60 series cars does the shoulder swoop and then cuts in. This goes the other direction. Still very typical Volvo, true to the Volvo signature, but a very different approach to it. So that's very cool. I do like that. And then you also have the rear plate, which is moved down to the rear bumper, and then you have Volvo in big bold letters there, where you usually would have the license plate, and usually you would have Volvo logo higher up on the boot lid, but here it's moved down there. XC40 badging. This is the D4 with all-wheel drive, D4 2-liter diesel, 190 horsepower. You also have a white or a roof spoiler there on the rear deck lid, which is white, the same color as the contrasting roof. And here, really cool, you can see here on, what is this, the C pillar, because this does not have a rear side window. So you have the A, B, and then on the C pillar you have where the cut line from the pastel blue body color, and then the white roof. On the R Design you would have R Design, the logo here on this plate here, which is a plastic plate. And then the lower part of the rear bumper, which is just black, and then you have reflectors here. I think you also have fog lights down below. So that is the exterior look. All in all, a very attractive, a very cool look, a very cool approach to Volvo's newest design. More youthful, might be even more sporty than what you get from the XC60 and the XC90. Since this is a new Volvo, this also gets Volvo's newest key design, and in Momentum trim, this key is not covered in leather. If you got this with, in the Inscription trim or in the R Design trim, this portion of the key around here would be covered in either ordinary leather or Napa leather. and also the buttons on the side would be chrome, but this is just plain black plastic. I wish they would have done something, at least the buttons in chrome, because this actually, compared to other Volvo keys, this actually feels cheap, while, you know, an inscription or artisan key actually feels very expensive and very exclusive. This feels cheap. So this car has keyless entry and keyless go, so put the key back in the pocket, and you can see the mirrors are unfolded, meaning this car is now unlocked. So put your finger there to lock. You can do that on all of the door handles here on the XC40, and then put your hand behind here to unlock. There we go. And I had somebody ask me on Instagram if you could, you know, walk away from this car and it would lock automatically. I did test that on my XC90, and I've tested it here. You cannot do that on a new Volvo. You have to put your finger here to lock the car. So you guys know that now. Opening up the door here we have also Volvo's newest design language, but also a different twist, a more youthful, maybe a more modern twist, starting off with the door design. So this is softly padded. This is not soft touch plastics, because you have a padding here which is soft. If you push this hard enough, you will feel the hard surface underneath. So a cheaper approach to soft touch, but still, you know, soft to the touch, but more of a padding than an actually softer material. And then you have this surrounding here, which, you know, where you have this the beautiful metal details here. I don't know if the camera's catching that, with a square pattern. It looks very cool. This here is a rubberized finish, like a smooth plastic, not a hard plastic. Hard plastics you have down here which aren't very nice to touch to the feel. This is a smooth plastic, so I will call this a grade above this. This is, you know, is the cheapest type of plastics, what we call hard touch plastics. This is a smooth plastic, so it is a much nicer feel to the skin, or when you run your hands over it. And then you have here a metal grab handle, which is also unique to the 40 series. And this car is also equipped with the Harman Kardon premium sound system, which also gives you this gunmetal finish metal grill speaker design here. So that's really cool details. This car also has the power adjustable driver's seat. Here you have the controls for that. You have lumbar support there, and then you also have 2 memory settings. This section here is hard touch plastics. This piece of plastic here all the way around here, but that is to be expected at this price point, you know. And then you have also the soft padding, which continues down here in one motion and in one piece, and is actually very comfortable, and is a very really nice design. And then you have something very unique to both Volvo and, I would say, cars in this class in general, and that is carpeting, white carpeting in the door. Just a very different way. Instead of fabric, you have white carpeting. Well, it does work. It feels very nice, and it looks very nice. Here you have the door switches, or the window switches, and the lock switches, and the mirror switches, which are unique to the 40 or the XC40, this car here. Somebody commented that the last time I checked out the XC40 last fall, when I was at the XC40 event, that these switches were not new, that you can find them in the V40, but that isn't correct. These are brand new and are unique to this car. So let's take a look at the rest of the interior, starting with the driver's seat. Just gonna move this back a bit so we can have, well, we have to turn on the ignition. So instead of having a rocker switch down there in the center console, like you do on the 90 series and the 60 series Volvos, you have a push start button here. Don't know why they did that, why they did it differently. Maybe it's some cost saving stuff, but it's very unusual hopping in between Volvos. And in my XC90, you turn it on by a rocker switch down there in the center console, and there you have it, push button start. So a bit confusing, a bit strange why they did that. But onto the driver's seat, electrically adjustable, as I said. This car is, you know, option to the brim. I think this is one of the best optioned Momentum trim cars in base form. This car doesn't have this much equipment. So you have leather seats, not leather. Not Nappa leather. I don't think you can get Nappa leather here in the XC40, but this is a brand new seat design for Volvo, and these seats are in traditional Volvo fashion, very comfortable. I've currently done 1,300 kilometers in this car in the past week, and these seats are just as good as any other Volvo seats, but they are very unique to this car. First off, you have the headrest design, which you can actually which has height adjustability. First in a Volvo ever, I think. I don't can remember ever seeing a Volvo that has height adjustable headrests, but this car does have that. And then you have really nice thigh support side support here, and then really nice thigh support here. You also have lumbar support here. No, lumbar support. You have thigh support here, which is manually adjustable, so to be expected at this price point. And what's really nice here you can see that you have carpeting all the way up to the center console. You don't get that in the competition. Even most cars in the class, or even the class above this, doesn't give you that. But that is really nice attention to details. And then you have a smallish pocket here, which I don't know what you're going to use for, but well, it's there if you want to use it. So let's take a step inside, because there is a bit of noise outside here. I do apologize that, guys. So first off, we have Volvo's newest steering wheel design. This steering wheel is unique to the the XC40, and it's a really nice steering wheel. So you have, it's leather wrapped, and not the same type of leather you do get on the 90 and 60 series cars. Is of a lesser quality, but is still very nice. But the steering wheel design is unique to this car. Here you have real metal on the spokes here. On the 60 series and 90 series cars, the trim you have around here is plastic, so this is actually higher quality than what you get in the bigger Volvos. The buttons are also different. Instead of having that glossy black finishing, these are matte, really nice and clicky. I do like them a lot. The buttons, you know, have the same placement, so you have the adaptive cruise control on this side, the distance here, you also have the speed up and down here, and you can also toggle right, left to choose between adaptive cruise control, ordinary cruise control, or cruise control limit, and then you turn on the cruise control by this button here. So the layout is the same, and you also have voice command here, you have the trip computer controls here, and then you have skip forward on the track or back and forth radio stations, and then you also have the volume knob or the volume buttons here, which is also identical to what you get in the bigger brothers, but the buttons are unique to this car. The steering wheel design is unique, and also this being the momentum trim, it gets soft touch plastics down here. A very strange material choice. I don't know why they did that. It's not offensive, but it just feels very strange. This grade of plastic is not found anywhere else in this cabin, so just a strange choice by Volvo. But all in all, I actually do like the steering wheel design better than the steering wheels in the 90 series and 60 series cars when just considering the design. But you know, the 60 series and 90 series cars, it does have smoother leather. You get leather on top of here behind the trim. Here you have plastic, so that is the trade-off. So over to the center console. Here you have the senseless infotainment system. Just gonna turn on the ignition here so you can see what that looks like. Will it boot up? Yes, it will. Just a bit slow here. So here you have, you know, Volvo's new center stack design, which is you know, just identical to, or very very similar to other Volvos. And why won't the camera focus? So very similar to other Volvos. You have the senseless infotainment screen here in the middle with the home button there down below, and then you have also the button stack down here with a big volume knob flanked by, you know, forward and backward skipping, and then you have also the front defroster, rear defroster, hazards here. And then instead of having a scroll wheel for drive modes like you do on the 90 series cars and 60 series cars, you have a button here that you can choose in between the drive modes. You also have individual mode, and I think this is also an option on this car. This car does not have any adaptive suspension, does not have any air suspension, so this only controls, you know, the steering input, the throttle input, and yeah, that's about it, I think. Also, the tech, it might be, I'm not quite sure right now. So also unique to this car are the vents here, which are unique to the 40 series. You know, they look a lot like the S90 V90 style of vents, but they are different and unique to this car. I'm just gonna, you know, turn around this car a bit. It looks like we're getting some flare in the camera. That means that the camera won't actually focus, and I'm getting the sun right in my face. So just bear with me, guys. We're just gonna turn around so we have the sun in our back, so we can have a better look at the interior. I do apologize that, but that gives me a chance to show you guys the gear selector, which is, you know, this digital gear selector where you push P to park, and then you put foot on the brake, and then you tap twice to go to D, twice to go to R, and then you press P for park again. So just gonna turn off the car. Also here we have more of that beautiful metal, you know, design finishing here. And this is a 3D pattern. This is real metal. When I run my finger across this, I can feel the dents or indentations here. Just a really nice, cool square design. You also have that on the front passenger door. And then you also have, you know, the same side or air vents as you do on the center console. Just a bit different, but the same design language. And I think these are very cool. This section here is that metal? Might be plastic, chrome plastic. This is metal. They feel very nice, very clicky in, and very solid. On top of the dashboard, we have soft touch plastics, real soft touch plastics, not that soft padded stuff we have over here. So really nice. And then also this whole black portion here is soft touch plastics all the way around here. And then first here we have hard touch plastics in the lower cabin on the contrasting coloring here. And then the glove box also is hard touch, though it is dampened. And you have a rubber mat in here, a large and nice size. So you might notice that I forgot to show you guys, but the doors have really large door bins. And here you have, you know, the tweeter, you have the mid-range speaker, but you don't have any low-end speakers there or bass. That's because in this car, Harman and Kardon have done, you know, a different design, something unique to this car, and that is the subwoofer behind the dashboard, meaning we don't need large speakers in the doors. I'm going to talk about that in a later review, but that's why we don't have any speakers in the doors. That gives away, you know, a lot of room for storage, making this interior even more practical. Down here in the center console, we have very, very large cup holders here and a large compartment here. So there's a lot of storage in this car. Though being a subcompact luxury SUV, the interior space is very smart. You have a charge pad here for wireless charging. You have a 12-volt socket here, and then you also have two USB ports. And this is deep. You can see how far my hand goes in there. Large cup holders, as I said. Here you have the electronic handbrake. You have auto hold there. And then you have something which is very smart actually, and I don't know why they don't have this in more cars. This is a trash bin that you can, it's very large, so with this lid here, which, you know, just pops back, and then you can pop this out so you can empty it. I actually have some trash down there. So very, very practical and very smart. And then you have a very large armrest center console here, which is very deep, very practical. The armrest here in smooth and soft leather with stitching is very nice. This whole section here is like a rubberized finish, which is, you know, just accentuates the high quality of this interior. And this interior is high quality, though compared to, of course, an XC90 or a 60 series cars is of less quality, but also the price point is much less. Even inside the grab handles here, inside the doors, you have a rubberized finish. So let's take a look at the rear seats, or very quickly, here we have Volvo's, you know, frameless mirror design that they've been doing in cars for years. A very attractive, you know, mirror design. You also have SOS here on top, and then you have On Call, which is a roadside service which you get with purchasing a new Volvo. This car has the panoramic glass roof, and I actually want to show you that, guys, because this glass roof, turn on the ignition again, is the biggest opening of new Volvo roofs. So click it once, it is auto, and then it stops there. But if you click it again, It opens huge. This opens even larger than on my XC90. So that is very impressive. Here you also have this here is the same as this button portion here, or this piece of kit. Interior trim is the same as you get in the 90 series cars and in the 60 series cars, but these buttons here are glossy, and that is also black and glossy. Here they are matte. That is probably to save cost. Sun visors are, you know, just ordinary plastic, quite soft plastic. A very nice fabric in the roof, all the way down the A-pillars, and then also here for the hands-free, and then you also have grab handles, which are plastic and dampened. And let's hop to the back seat, but because I think that was the whole front seat in detail. Go to the rear seat. I do apologize that this is a long video, but I wanted to do a very extensive, a very detailed look of this car. So the first thing you notice with the rear doors is this kink here, which actually doesn't, you know, do much about hampering visibility. Visibility is very nice in this car. The greenhouse is very square, and you have a very good view out. So, but it does look a bit strange. This is hard touch plastics from the interior. From the outside, it looks cool, but from the inside, it looks a bit strange. Here you have the same soft padded plastic stuff, soft padded. This section here is not of the same quality as you have on the front doors. This is what I would call hard touch plastics. It's not very smooth to the touch like we have on the front, and you also don't have the metal trim in the doors. You do have the metal grab handle, so they have cost cut in on the rear doors, which is quite normal in this class at this price point. And also here, well, unique buttons to this car, and you also have the same carpeting, hard touch plastics, and there you have actually a bass speaker in the door. So not much to write home about. Bit of cost cutting is on the rear doors. Here you have the rear seat, which is quite comfortable, and I am not sat behind me here. I've actually sat behind something that would be like more than a 6-footer, and I do have knee room. I'm about 5'7", so not the tallest guy, but a 6-footer might quite actually be able to sit behind himself. Let's just close the rear doors, and unlike on the 60 series and the 90 series car, you don't have air vents here on the B pillar, but you do have air vents down here, which have the same design as the air vents in the front, the same, you know, chrome surroundings here with these nice chrome switches to open and to close them. They are diamond cut like we have on the front, so really nice details. And then the seat back here is, of course, leather. Might be faux leather that they're using on the seat backs. That is normal. And this is actually hard touch plastics, which is a bit disappointing, but well, they have to cost cut somewhere. And then you have really nice map pockets there. That seat there actually is set so you could fit a child seat here with the Isofix points, or Britax child seat for our 3-month-old daughter. So you actually do have room to sit in the front seat while having a child seat in the rear, which is nice to know. Well, actually, here, what I wanted to show you guys, that you don't have grab handles in the rear seats, which is a bit unusual. I haven't seen that before, but you do get a hook here to hang up a coat hanger, which I did in my first impressions video, but it is a bit strange and you don't have it on that side. So let's go ahead and take a look at the trunk. Lastly, it is electrically operated and quite nice and quick in the operation. You have a partial shelf here that moves with the trunk, and then the trunk is of a really nice size. If you want to see how practical this car is, check out my first impressions video up there in the right corner, where I actually transport a book stand, a commercial book stand in this car. But the trunk is of a really nice size, really nice carpeting. You have some storage here on the sides, also here some bins. But the real party trick of this car is this boot floor that you can do that with, and then you have grab hand or hooks here for grocery bags, and then you have a lot of storage here. This is actually very deep, and I'm just going to cut away to a a clip now, me filling this up with a lot of Pepsi Max. So this closes very easily, and you can also lock the car from the trunk, which is very practical. Not all cars do that. So guys, that was my detailed look at the exterior and the interior of the brand new 2018 Volvo XC40 Momentum. Let me know what you guys think of this car in the comments down below. And for more car content, give me a thumbs up, and for more car content, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving